we are going to continue our discussion on the topic of service costing, which is also known as operating costing, and this is going to be part 3 of our lectures on service costing. And in today's lecture of mine, I shall be concluding this very topic of service costing with the two important cases where I'll be telling you how to deal with the situation, how to deal with the practical problem of a library, where a club is running a library, and how to, calculate their cost, how to find out that how much subsidy they have given, and the kind of, charges they are actually, levying on their members. So that can also be an interesting, variety of question in this topic. And along with that, we'll also be talking about a situation where there are two mines, and we are talking about two different mines, how to calculate the cost of operating there. So with this agenda, we are going to have a discussion on the topic of service costing with two interesting numerical examples. So let us start our discussion with the numerical question. There is a club which is running a library for its members, and as a matter of policy, the club has decided that they will be offering an annual subsidy of up to rupees 5 per member, including cost of books, and it can be given from the general funds of the club. So the club is actually operating as a NPO, not for profit organization, and they are planning to offer some subsidy, and there is a limit to that they will be offering up to rupees 5 per member, including cost of books, and the entire funding has to come from the general funds of the club. And they are offering us certain details regarding how to calculate this cost. So they are reporting us that they have appointed staff in 3 different categories, rather you call it 3 different designations they have. There is a post of librarian, there is a post of assistant librarian, and there is a post of library attendant. And they have appointed 1 librarian, 3 assistant librarian, and 1 library attendant. And they are reporting us salary per month per employee, that to librarian they are paying 10,000 rupees per month per librarian, and for assistant librarian the salary is rupees 7,000 per month, and for library attendant it is 4,000 rupees per month. Further, they are reporting us about number of club members, that in this very club they have a total membership of 5,000 members, and out of those 5,000, those who have opted for the library membership, they are only 1,000. As far as library fee is concerned, for per member per month it is rupees 100. This is going to be the source of revenue for this library, because they are charging it from the members who are willing to apply for, who are willing to opt for the library membership. So they are being charged 100 rupees per member per month. Fine for late return of books. Suppose if somebody is not submitting the books on time, there is a fine of rupees 1 per book per day. This is the charge which they have decided. And they have a policy that they are reporting on the basis of their past experience, that the average number of books which are returned late per month is 500. So on an average 500 books are returned not on time. 500 books are being submitted on delayed basis. They are delaying their submission. An average number of days each book is returned late is 5 days. So one person is keeping the book for himself or herself for approximately around 5 days. This is what is they are reporting. Number of available books in library is 50,000 books. Cost of new book, if we are purchasing, is rupees 300 per book. Number of books which they are purchasing per annum is this year they have purchased 1200 books. This is what they are reporting. And cost of maintaining per old book, this is the annual cost, it is rupees 10. So these are the basic informations provided by this specific club, which is reporting that we have, this is the total number of members, this is the number of library membership, number of books they have purchased, delays, charges, fee, everything they have reported. Now what they are expecting from us, what they are asking to us, they are asking us to calculate the annual cost of maintaining this library, excluding cost of new books. This is the first requirement. Since they are offering this service, it actually comes under the purview of service costing, or what you call as operating costing. So we have to first calculate the annual cost of maintaining this specific library, excluding cost of new books. And then further they are asking us to calculate cost incurred per member per month, excluding cost of new books. Cost of new books, of course, it is not the maintenance cost, it is something which you are spending on account of capital expenditure, because you are buying it, you are going to use these books for years. And they are asking us to calculate the net annual income from the library, Apart from that, this question is very comprehensive, the demand is very comprehensive. If the club has a policy to buy new books from the library revenue only, what is the maximum number of books that can be purchased per annum? So they are asking that if we don't have any further funding, what should be the number of maximum books which they can purchase per annum from the sources of your library, that is the revenue of your library. And further they are asking to report the number of excess books which they have purchased in this specific year, that is in this entire year, what is the number of excess book they have purchased. And they also expect from us to comment on the subsidy policy of the club, whether we are able to comply with the subsidy policy or not, or we are deviating, and if we are deviating, what is the extent of that. So my dear learners, before we attempt this question, let us briefly understand what exactly we are going to do. In most of the cases where we are doing this kind of calculation, in most of the cases where we talk about a club, or we talk about a library, or we talk about any organization which is under NPO, that is not for profit organization, wherein this organization is not willing to make profit, their objective is to provide services. Like suppose if we talk about our university, where we are offering services to our students while deciding the fee of our students, and we all know that the tuition fee is waived, it is actually supported by the government according to the status of our university, whether it is state or central, it is being funded by the government. We have to only calculate the cost of maintenance. So whatever, suppose if we are paying electricity bill, if we are charging some depreciation on the property which we are using, so or computers, we have computers are provided by the government, and we are expending some amount on account of maintaining them. So how to calculate, how to prescribe the fee from student, how to decide a fee which we should charge from the student, there also we follow inherently this policy of service costing. So wherever the service comes, we have to calculate the cost of that specific service, so that we can decide the charges. And here objective is not to make profit, it is completely a case of NPO. So there also you would understand how to deal with such kind of situation. And this is the reason why, from starting from the very first lecture till date, what I am trying to tell you how to deal with different situations. So in some questions we are simply asking us to calculate the cost. Here we are not only asking you to calculate the cost of maintenance, but also expecting from you that you should report how many books can be purchased. And if the company has purchased 1200 books, what is the number of excess books they have purchased in this specific year. And not only that, we are also expecting from you as a management accountant to comment on the subsidy policy of the club, whether you should continue with the same subsidy policy or you should make certain changes into that. So this is the very motive of introducing this very question in front of you, so that as a management accountant you understand that we are not only supposed to do the calculation like a cost accountant, but we are also expected or required to give our valuable comments on account of subsidy policy if we talk about this specific question. So let us solve this very question. We will first calculate the revenue. Let us calculate the revenue of this club which is running a library. So number of library members, out of total members of 5,000, only 1,000 members have opted for library membership. So when we are calculating the total revenue of library, we will focus on only those members who are making payment to the library as library member, and that membership number is 1,000 only. And library fee per month reported by the club is rupees 100 per month. So 1,000 members we have, and they are paying, each member is paying 100 rupees per month. So we are generating a total revenue of rupees 1 lakh per month. Very simple to calculate. Now if we talk about the late fee per month, late fee is basically 500 books are there which are being submitted on delayed basis, and each person is keeping book for approximately 5 days. This is the average information. This is the number provided by the club itself, library itself, which is being run by this specific club. And 1 rupees per day is the penalty which we are levying on those who are not submitting on time. So if 5 days is the delay period, 1 rupee per day is the delay charge. So total amount we are going to charge from one person is 5 into 1, that is 5 rupees. 1 rupee per day, for 5 days 5 rupees, and total number of books which are being submitted late is 500. So very simple to calculate, 500 into 5 into 1, that is 2500. My dear learners, sometimes you feel that what is the point of multiplying it by 1? Why don't we say that 500 into 5, 2500? Why are you multiplying it by 1? Remember that this 1 rupee is basically your charge. This is the penalty. Here by chance this is 1 rupee. Had it been 50 paisa, it could have made difference into your calculation, and this is why you have to be mindful that 5 is actually the days for which you are delaying your submission, and 1 rupee is charged per day, which libraries is levying upon you as a penalty, that if you are submitting on delayed basis, for each delay of for every 1 day of delay you will have to pay 1 rupee. So 500 books into 5 into 1, 2500 is late fee per month. Now if you ask me what should be the total revenue of this library, they have only two sources as far as the information provided by this question is concerned. They have reported that there are only two sources of income. One is library fee, another is late fee. There is no other source. So total monthly revenue comes to be rupees 1,02,500. Now this is my calculation for 1 month, that from this library on an average on monthly basis we are generating a revenue of total revenue of 1,02,500, and we all know in a year we have 12 months. So very simple to calculate annual revenue, multiply 1,02,500 with 12 months to arrive at annual revenue, which is 12,30,000. Now once the revenue is computed, the next step is to calculate the cost. We will go for computing the total cost, and it is very simple. On account of total cost, first of all we have to focus on the staff which we have employed for it. So the question has reported as the staff designation, number of staff employed, their salary per month. So very simple to calculate. Librarian, there is only one librarian in this library, and salary per month for librarian is 10,000 rupees. So total cost of librarian is 10,000. For assistant librarian, 7,000 into 3, 21,000. Because they are 3 in number. For library attendant, you have only appointed one attendant, so total amount comes to be 4,000. So if you ask me what is the total staff cost per month, it comes to be rupees 35,000. So I have not done anything. I have simply multiplied the number of staff with their monthly salary to arrive at the total effective monthly cost of these staffs which you have deployed at your library, or you can say the library has appointed these people and they are spending 35,000 rupees per month. This is a staff cost. Now if you calculate the annual staff cost, simply multiply it by 12 and it comes to be rupees 4,20,000. So this is one major component of my total cost of running this library, that is the staff which we have deployed, and total cost comes to be 4,20,000 rupees. Now we have got the value of annual staff cost. We shall now move on to the cost of maintaining the books. The question has reported that you have total number of books to be 50,000 and cost of maintaining book is 10 rupees per book. Very simple, 50,000 into 10, 5 lakh rupees is my annual cost of maintenance of these books which are there with our library. So total maintenance cost per annum excluding cost of new books, if you ask me, I would say we should add the cost of staff as well, and the total cost should be 9,20,000. There is no further cost reported in the question, so we have computed the total revenue as well as total cost. Now if you recall the different requirement by the question which was initially it seemed to us to be very difficult, but I am telling you it is very simple to calculate. They are asking us to report cost incurred per library member per annum. Very simple. If you have total cost of maintaining this library per annum, it is very simple to calculate per library member cost, simply divided by number of members. So the total cost comes to be 9,20,000. We have 1,000 members. The cost comes to be 920 rupees. My dear learners, here the question has reported two different types of memberships. One is of club, another is of library. And since we are doing the computation of library, we are calculating the cost and revenue of library, we shall focus upon the members of library only. And this is the point of mistake where student by mistake, or you can say by chance, they feel that the total members are 5,000. That is the number of members club is having. but library is having only 1000 members. So 9,20,000 divided by 1000 will give us the value of rupees 920. Now if you ask me, question was asking cost incurred per member per month. Very simple. Now since we have the per member cost, that is rupees 920, and they are asking this is the annual per member cost. So very simple, you have to divide it by 12 to arrive at per month cost, which comes to be 76 rupees and 67 paisa. Further, they are asking cost incurred per club member as per annum. Very simple. Now here the question is asking about the cost incurred per club member. So club members are 5,000. Now here you would divide the total cost by 5,000 members, and it comes to be 184. And since we have computed the total cost, we can do n number of calculations according to the requirement. Now if you ask me to calculate the profit, net income we have computed. The net income is 12,30,000 is my revenue, 9,20,000 is my cost. So net income from the library is rupees 3,10,000. Now we have purchased some new book also. So cost of purchasing one new book is 300 rupees. And if question is asking that what should be the maximum number of books which can be purchased during the year, this was a very important part of the question, that what should be the maximum number of books this library can purchase if they are working on self-sustaining model. There is no further support. So 3,10,000 is the net surplus you call, or you call it as net income. It has to be divided by cost of purchasing one new book, and that will give us the total number. So 3,10,000 divided by 300 gives me a value of 1,033.33 books. Since we cannot buy the books in fraction, I would go to the approximation of it. I would say 1,033 books we can buy. Now this is the point where we have to be little cautious while giving our comments. This henceforth we would understand how to comment on this calculation. Number of books actually reportedly purchased by the library is 1,200 books. And we are actually working on a self-sustaining model. With your existing revenue, you can only buy how many books? 1,033 books, but you have bought 1,200 books. So you have purchased books in excess, and what is that number in excess? 167 books. Now if somebody is asking you how much subsidy you have given, and by mistake students basically go to the question, the first pair of the question, where it was reported that up to 5 rupees per member. They say that 5 rupees into 1,000, 5,000 is given as subsidy. No, that is actually the standard subsidy which library has to give. Here what we are doing, we have actually purchased excess books, 167 books we have purchased. So if we calculate, if we multiply this 167 by the cost of one book, we'll get the effective subsidy, expenditure on account of subsidy, that comes to be 50,000. If you take 166.66 and multiply it by 300, you will get the value approximately closer to rupees 50,000, 50,001 or so. And subsidy per library member per annum you have given is 50,000 divided by 1,000. So you have given 50 rupees per member as subsidy you have incurred, because this is the amount which you have incurred, because these books are supposed to be availed by the members only. You must be feeling that, sir, where it is written that these excess books are provided to the members. See, this entire library is being created or managed for the members only. So excess books which you have purchased, this is basically a subsidy which you are offering to your members. And subsidy given per annum is rupees 50,000. If you ask me what is subsidy per library member per annum, it comes to be rupees 50. And if you talk to me about subsidy per club member per annum, you have to divide it by 5,000. It is rupees 10. So now we are done with the entire calculation part. The next part is more interesting, because there you have to give your valuable comment. They were asking about the policy of this library. So subsidy per library member per annum given by you is rupees 50, and per club member is given to be rupees 10. Now we shall be giving our comment like this. The club has exceeded its subsidy target to members by rupees 45 per library member, because it is bearing rupees 50 per member, and the target was rupees 5 per library member. Now this rupees 50 per member is the cost is the deficit which is being borne by the library, because you are not levying any extra charge on your members on account of this excess purchase, whereas this entire excess purchase is going to be used by the library members only. So if we talk about the subsidy given to the library members, per library member subsidy comes to be rupees 50, and your target was to offer them how much? 5 rupees per library member. So there is an excess of rupees 45 per library member, which is not good in the interest of your library, cause your policy was to only offer 5 rupees per library member. And if we look at this cost from the perspective of club members, that is 5,000, we would say that rupees 5 per club member, because it is bearing the cost of rupees 10 per club member in relation to target of rupees 5 per member. So you are actually in excess of rupees 5 per club member if you look at this cost from the perspective of total number of club members. So mind here, my dear learners, you have to be a little cautious while calculating, while operating with this operating costing, or what you call as service costing. You may have to undergo several calculations and then give your valuable comments. And it is this easy. You must have now understood. It is not that difficult. You have to simply go step by step and understand what exactly is the expectation of examiner from this very question or from this very situation. And in practical life also, whenever we talk about any not-for-profit organization, we have to operate like this only. So this is what we actually expect you to do into this kind of situation. Now I would quickly go to another question and then we'll conclude this topic. That is basically dealing with the two different mines. A mineral is transported from two mines, A and B, and unloaded at plots of a railway station. Mine A is at a distance of 10 kilometers and B is at 15 kilometers from the station. And you have a fleet of lorries of 5 ton carrying capacity, and it is used for transport of minerals from the mines. Records are revealing that lorries average a speed of 30 kilometers per hour while running and regularly take 10 minutes to unload at the railhead. So they are taking 10 minutes in unloading. At mine A, if you talk about loading time average, it is 30 minutes per load, while at mine B it is 20 minutes per load. Drivers' wages, depreciation, insurance and taxes, they were found to cost at rupees 9 per hour operated. And after that they are reporting that fuel, oil, tire repair and maintenance cost is rupees 1.2 per kilometer, and they are asking you to prepare a statement showing the cost per ton kilometer of carrying mineral from each mine. So you have two mines, A and B. It is very simple to calculate. We have done similar kind of question, but here it is different because you are dealing with a mine and you have to deal with the labor cost in a different manner. That is what I am going to show you. This working note will actually help you in understanding. We have to first calculate the total operating time taken to and fro for one trip which is being run to mine A and mine B. So they are reporting that you have to run for 20 kilometers for mine A, and for mine B it is 30 kilometers. If you calculate the cost, 30 kilometers is the standard. In 1 hour we run 30 kilometers. So to run 20 kilometers, how much is time which you are going to consume is 40 minutes. For mine B it is 60 minutes. Unloading time, loading time, we have to add to this operating time. So to and fro operating time is given. We have computed unloading time and loading time. I am telling you about the mine A. If you aggregate them, 40 minutes plus 10 minutes plus 30 minutes, it comes to be 80 minutes. And if you convert them into in terms of hours, it is 1 hour 20 minutes. Whereas the same comes for mine B to be 1 hour 30 minutes. Now effective 10 kilometer you have to calculate. 5 ton is the capacity of lorry and 10 kilometer you are covering. So 50 is effective 10 kilometer for mine A and 75 is for mine B. Now we can easily calculate the cost. Fixed cost per trip, since we have got the time, we have to simply multiply it with the rate, 1 hour 20 minutes, and the rate is 9 per hour for mine A, value comes to be rupees 12, and for mine B it is 1 hour 30 minutes and rate is rupees 9, so value comes to be rupees 13.50. Similarly, we will calculate the cost of running and maintenance, which comes to be 24 and 36, and total cost per trip of mine A is rupees 36, whereas for mine B is 49.50. And question was asking us to calculate cost per ton kilometer. Very simple it is. The total cost is 36 rupees and 50 is your tons kilometer. Divide it and you will get a value of 0.72 for mine A and 0.66 for mine B. So this is what I wanted to show you with this question, that how to calculate the cost when you have to compute the running and maintenance cost and fixed cost per trip. Like this, the rate is given and you have to calculate the effective hours to arrive at the total cost. So with this I am concluding this very topic of service costing, and I hope you must have understood and enjoyed the very topic of service costing, or what you call as operating costing. See you soon with some other interesting topics of management accounting. Thank you so much.